So the Nintendo Switch just did something amazing in the month of June that I think many would consider to be quote unquote impossible, because it has officially had its best sales month ever in the month of June in Japan. Now, this is not something you expect to see whenever it comes to a 6-year-old console that is in its 7th year of sales at this point in time, and you're probably seeing all of the continued rumor mill and speculation talk around it maybe being time for a successor to the Switch. And while I do think you can argue that standpoint, that it is absolutely time in terms of raw power and performance that the Switch has, that we need to get a newer chipset than the current Tegra X1 that we have in our consoles today, there is still, from a business perspective, some life left in the Nintendo Switch. Not just some life, but quite a bit of life when you consider the statement around it having its most successful month ever in console history in Japan. And there are a couple reasons for this, and we are definitely going to unpack that today. So make sure you like and subscribe if you're new here, turn on your bell notification, and let's dive through the reason that this is a big deal for Nintendo at this stage in the Nintendo Switch's life cycle, and what it could really indicate around their future broader plans on where they go from here right after this. Today, I'm excited to tell you all about Atlas VPN. We've all heard of VPNs before, but Atlas VPN honestly has the best deal on the market. It's your ticket to affordable online protection. For just $1.83 per month, you can enjoy top-notch security and peace of mind. But if you sign up now and take advantage of the exclusive summer deal, you get an extra 3 months. Atlas VPN is so confident in their product, they give you a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. With Atlas VPN, you can say goodbye to ads, malware, malicious links, and they go beyond just VPN, keeping you safe from data theft. Nothing sucks worse than being locked out from content that you know is available in other parts of the world. And with Atlas VPN, you can unlock your favorite shows and movies from any region, even if you're abroad yourself. You can keep your Google searches private with Atlas VPN, enjoy organic search results without being tracked, because remember, your privacy matters. If you're worried about protecting all of your devices, that's no problem. With Atlas VPN, you can safeguard unlimited devices with a single subscription. And with their one-tap protection, it's honestly never been easier to get connected on any device. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Grab the Atlas VPN Premium now for just $1.83 per month plus 3 extra months. And remember, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Take advantage of this limited time offer by clicking the link in my description and pinned comment below. Huge thank you once again to Atlas VPN for sponsoring today's video. Now, to first get on the same page with all of the details around what's been spotted here in Japan in the month of June, let's quickly hop over to VGC and read through their detailed typed up article together. Nintendo Switch reportedly earns best ever June sales in Japan. Sales of the system were likely boosted by Zelda and the recent Nintendo Direct. That's according to Nikkei via Stealth on Twitter, who reports that the system sold 380,000 units in June, which is 68% higher than that of June 2022 in Japan. The system, which will likely reach a sales total of 30 million in Japan later this year, is now in its 6th year. However, despite some believing the system is nearing the end of its life, its sales were significantly buoyed by the release of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in May. June also saw a Nintendo Direct which featured the announcement of several new Mario titles for Nintendo Switch, which could have bolstered sales, though the sheer increase year on year is seemingly far outside a traditional post-Direct bump. The Nintendo Switch is likely to outsell both the Game Boy and the Nintendo DS next year, making it the most successful console of all time in the region based on sales. While not impossible, the Nintendo Switch will have to sell around 30 million more units around the world to dethrone the Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2 worldwide, each of which is reported to have sold around 155 million. In May, Nintendo reported a slowdown in Switch console sales, but suggested no new hardware will launch before April 2024. So this is interesting to me for a couple different reasons, because we've seen Nintendo at things like their most recent financial investor meeting, when talking about the Switch's hardware performance, kind of stumble around the 15 million mark that they have committed to investors, saying that they believe that it will be a struggle to hit that. Then you see this giant month in Japan, and it makes you wonder if we will see that kind of uptick uptick in other regions around the world as well, or if this is more of the Japanese local audience being very excited for the new games that are to come from the most recent Nintendo Direct, not to mention the fact that Tears of the Kingdom is still selling like hotcakes according to all different reports, and will go on to challenge likely Breath of the Wild as the best-selling Zelda game of all time, period, especially if they do something in terms of a new version of the game that could potentially run on new, more powerful hardware. Assuming that we are within a year or two from that hardware being released, they may want to double dip and resell a deluxe version of the game, or just Tears of the Kingdom all over again, but with DLC bundled in and with all of the performance patches to essentially have the best gameplay experience possible. At that point in time, if that happens, it will likely go down as the best-selling Zelda game ever in history. But there is something to be said about the kind of uptick that we are seeing here when we're talking about a 6+ year old console, and you see a jump in 68% year-over-year sales in the month of June in Japan. It is quite honestly insane. Now, I do personally believe, while a lot of this is likely tied to Tears of the Kingdom and all of the hype around that game finally coming out on Nintendo Switch, I also think you do have to take into account that the most recent Nintendo Direct did indeed alleviate a lot of concerns from various Nintendo Switch fans that maybe after Tears of the Kingdom, we have really a light software release schedule. We know that Pikmin 4 is around the corner this month, that it will be out, and we've known about that for quite some time, but past that, there was a lot of uncertainty prior to that June 21st Nintendo Direct that we would be getting anything meaningful at all. We now know that we have a couple different Mario titles to look forward to this holiday season, with things like Super Mario Bros. Wonder that I cannot wait to play. This game looks freaking fantastic. It looks like they once again got their creative juices flowing with 2D Mario, and just whenever you're kind of tired of the new Super Mario Bros. Formula and format and look and feel because of how many times it was kind of just redone with the same game and general presentation from the DS version all the way to New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe that is available on the Switch. I saw so much dialogue online suggesting that 2D Mario's kind of played out, it's kind of done, I'm done with it. But then everybody saw that Super Mario Bros. Wonder trailer drop, and the sentiment was not that I don't want another 2D Mario game, it was that this thing looks beautiful, Nintendo hit it out of the park with their creativity, I cannot wait to play this game. We then also have Super Mario RPG getting a full-on big boy remaster that will be coming to the Nintendo Switch in November of this year. And if you grew up with that game, or you're just curious about why it is such a cult classic and so many fans have been questioning where it's been at all of these years in terms of it not getting a Nintendo Switch online release or what have you, now you have the opportunity to either re-experience that game in the best possible way, or you have the opportunity to play through it for the first time. And I do think that if there was any question around what the rest of this year looks like when it comes to new Nintendo Switch games, that those fears have essentially been put to bed for most gamers. Now, it's not the most stacked year ever in terms of new software releases, and we know a couple more Mario projects will be coming in 2024 according to the last Direct, but there's also still time for us to talk about a September Nintendo Direct where we could likely see Nintendo shadow drop some more games like they did with Pikmin 1 and 2. We may indeed see that happen for Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remastered at something like that upcoming Direct, and hopefully we hear about some kind of loose timeline around Metroid Prime 4. But the point is whether or not we get new hardware announced and unveiled anytime soon or not, Nintendo, while facing declining sales, still have momentum on their side behind the Switch, and that is a great thing as a Nintendo gamer at the end of the day, because you don't want to see a company that you know and love struggle through and have to pull back expenses on projects, because that means less quality content for us to play through. And now, as far into the Nintendo Switch's life cycle as we are not seeing that dreaded fall off of a cliff sales cycle that we could sometimes expect with a console at this age, but rather some great record-breaking months still coming out of regions like Japan, and likely upticks all around the world from quality software being in the works, and some that have already released with games like Tears of the Kingdom. But I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions with the Nintendo Switch doing the unthinkable, or the impossible even, in the month of June in Japan, having its best sales month ever, period. Do you think that this is an indication that Nintendo is doing the right thing by not pumping out new hardware already and bringing it to market? Or do you think that they should have new hardware on the market already at this point in time and that they're actually waiting around too long for sales to kind of dwindle? How do you feel about that 15 million unit number that they forecasted for this fiscal year? Do you think there's any possibility of them hitting that and that this June record-breaking month in Japan is an indication that they will? Or do you think it's more of a regional spike in sales, but not that notable overall for the broader picture of Nintendo's future performance with the Switch? And bonus question, if you're a betting person, when do you think we will actually get some kind of official announcement or acknowledgement of what's next in terms of console hardware from Nintendo? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.